Martin Luther King Jr., a march in Memphis, and lingering questions on the 30th anniversary of the assassination. A tugboat strike slows down barge traffic on the Mississippi, and adding up the cost of El Nino, not as high as some have feared.
This is the CBS Evening News with Paula Zahn.
Good evening. For many Americans, today was a time for contemplation, a time to remember a voice of nonviolence. Others marched, a major tactic of the slain civil rights leader. But as Art Rascon reports, today the family of Martin Luther King Jr. is speaking out loudly, asking for yet another investigation of his death.
In Atlanta, a moment of reflection for the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around.
And in Memphis, thousands retraced what would have been the final march of the civil rights leader. Still, the debate over who's responsible continues.
3 decades later, we are still searching for the truth about his assassination.
James Earl Ray confessed to killing Dr. King and was sentenced to life in prison. But he later recanted his testimony and has since insisted he's innocent. He has even convinced the King family.
Do you really believe that the government has the wrong person behind bars?
Yeah, yes, I do. Absolutely believe that.
There's no question about that in your mind?
Not in my mind.
The change of heart came after so-called new evidence persuaded Dr. King's family that his death was the work of a large group of conspirators, a group the King family believes James Earl Ray was not a part of. The family is now calling for President Clinton to establish a special commission to investigate the new findings.
Supporting the King family's belief of a government cover-up is a large group of conspiracy theorists gathering in Memphis to discuss the latest evidence.
What did you do?
Which includes never-before-heard testimony that may or may not prove others were involved in the shooting. Dr. King's family is quick to respond to critics who say that all of this is just a publicity stunt.
It's not about getting in the public eye at all. It really is about getting to the truth.
Still, even Professor David Garrow, one of the most recognized King historians, is not swayed by all this talk of a conspiracy.
James Earl Ray, without a scintilla of doubt, was the assassin of Martin Luther King Jr.
30 years later, even as the debate continues, many are saying the focus should be on the accomplishments of Dr. King's life instead of the events surrounding his death. Art Rascon, CBS News, Atlanta.
Life along the Mississippi is a bit slower going this evening. A strike by tugboat pilots has halted tons of cargo traveling the river. By Monday, the strike may shut down traffic on waterways of the nation's midsection and Gulf Coast. Cynthia Bowers has more on the Mississippi tug-of-war.
From shore, life on the river looks serene, unchanged, but appearances can be deceiving and could be costly to consumers across America.
Pilots did go on strike as of 2400 last night.
Towboat pilots are striking against what they call dangerous working conditions, such as overloaded barges and paychecks that don't reflect demanding schedules.
It's 8 months out of the year, 12 hours a day, every day for 12 hours, we're working with no overtime pay.
Dickie Mathis's fledgling union, Pilots Agree, which represents 1/3 of the estimated 3,000 river captains, voted to strike after the towing companies who hire them refused to even sit down and talk, opting instead to send letters opposing unionization.
We've opened up every avenue to open up communications or dialogue with them. They've ignored us.
But ignoring them will be difficult if the strike pans out.
They're going to have to talk because we're not going to be on their boats to move them. They need us to move them, and if we're not there, then they'll have to talk to us.
There's simply no other way to get their products to market cheaply. 25% of this country's cargo, including chemicals, coal, gasoline, and grain, still travels by river, and a total shutdown could mean disaster at shipping centers.
We just want basically our respect back, the benefits that have been taken from us over the past 20 years.
Captains and pilots acknowledge the river has long been a way of life, but it's one they say they are now prepared to abandon. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Dallas.
El Nino has not produced the devastating damages that many people had feared, according to government officials. The Federal Emergency Management Agency says it has spent $289 million on disasters this winter, slightly less than the winter before and slightly more than 2 winters ago. California has been among the areas hit hardest, with state damages of $500 million so far. But the Golden State had more costly winters in 1995 and 1997, when damages reached almost $2 billion. Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell charged today the White House is using up to 100 lawyers in legal assistance at taxpayers' expense for President Clinton's personal legal matters. The White House said the charge by the Colorado Republican is reckless and false. Kenneth Starr is only one of 4 independent counsels currently investigating President Clinton and his cabinet members, past and present. But Sharyl Atkisson tells us while the big names have managed to remain largely unscathed, lesser knowns have not.
Patsy Wooten was prosecuted after an independent counsel caught her and her husband lying on a house loan application for her sister, Linda Medlar, who'd had an affair with former Housing Secretary Henry Cisneros. The counsel was investigating Cisneros, but when he came upon the Wootens, he prosecuted them.
I think I feel hurt more than anything.
This is like taking a howitzer to kill a fly. That's what happened in this case.
When former Agriculture Secretary Mike Espy became the target of an independent counsel, so did everyone else in Espy's life. Last month, his chief of staff, Ron Blackley, got a prison sentence for lying about his income.
Both Blackley and Wooten were snared by a little-known law that makes it a crime to lie to any federal official. It's become a powerful tool for independent counsels who use it to pressure associates to testify against the real targets of their probes.
And that's brought independent counsels under fire from critics who say they're buckling under political pressure to convict, no matter how far removed the subject is from the original investigation. Ken Starr, who is investigating the president, disagrees.
Facts and law, that's what we deal with. We don't deal in politics. We work in the realm of facts and law and not public relations.
But they work virtually unchecked and with unlimited funds. 4 investigations into the Clinton administration have run up a tab of nearly $53 million.
I think one of the problems with the statute is that the independent counsel really does answer to no one.
All that power, time, and money has netted little in the way of major charges against top officials. That has people wondering whether Kenneth Starr will end up with serious findings against President Clinton or merely bring charges of lying against associates like Monica Lewinsky. Sharyl Atkisson, CBS News, Washington.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, planes collide over Georgia homes. Plus, S is for shortage. Fewer teachers and more students spell trouble for schools. And the love contract, words on paper to cover romance on the job.
Oh, look at the space. Could I lie to this cuddly, wuddly little ray of sunshine?
Yepper, that's a Roger.
I mean, she loves this Splash juice drink, right? She's like bonded with that light taste of tropical fruit juices. So what kind of nut job mom would say, honey, only Splash has 100% of both vitamins A and C. It's good for you because it's from V8. What, and risk destroying rare, tantrum-free moments like these?
V8 Splash. Now try all our great flavors.
Why all these laxatives?
Why not?
They have stimulants that may cause cramps.
Says who?
Says on the label. Phillips is the only one that doesn't. Don't you know nothing's better?
He knows now. Phillips, effective relief without harsh stimulants.
There are those in life who watch and those who do. Anna is a doer. Thanks to Advil. It works fast, right at the site of arthritis pain. For all kinds of pain, Advil simply lets people do what they love to do.
Really?
Really?
Really? Really? Really? Really? Really?
Really?
Really?
Really?
Really? Really? Really? Really? Really?
People have been pre-washing their dishes for so long.
Really?
It's going to take some getting used to the new Maytag Jet Clean dishwasher. It has twice the number of powerful cleaning jets as any other dishwasher. So chances are you won't have to wash your dishes before you wash your dishes. Maytag Performance. You can depend on it.
Really? 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 Really?
Among the many problems facing America's schools is a shortage of teachers as many veteran educators reach the age of retirement. It is a key topic at a weekend conference of elementary school principals in Orlando, Florida. Elizabeth Kaledin reports some districts are taking extraordinary efforts to fill the gap.
Let's see. Public schools across the country are studying a math problem that just doesn't add up.
When you're done, I need you to finish up your reading paper.
An estimated 1 million teachers, like Deborah Mason with 25 years experience, will retire soon, while the number of students is on the rise. It equals a looming teacher shortage that has school districts adding a fourth R to their curriculums: reading, writing, arithmetic, and now recruiting.
I understand you want to be a guidance counselor. Last year was the first year that I found it necessary to do on-campus recruiting. This year I'm going to be doing 5 times as much as I did last year.
Boston, expected to lose up to half of its teachers in the next decade, is so desperate for people, administrators are luring qualified candidates from local teaching colleges with a guaranteed job.
I felt like Boston Public School District had so much to offer for me in the long run that this was a place where I could invest my life and my time.
Fortunately for schools, there is also a growing population of people rethinking career choices.
I felt something missing.
Annette Mizell Howard worked at Raytheon for 8 years before going to graduate school to become a teacher. Recruiters have been particularly interested in her skills.
My science background and my math background from working at Raytheon for 8 years is going to help me. And I'm also bilingual in Spanish.
This is Roland. The Boston School District is even going so far as to track people relocating to the area.
We are partnershiping with businesses to say if they have people moving into the area who have trailing spouses, we're looking for their wives and their spouses.
An influx of younger teachers and newer methods may mean big changes for America's public schools. It seems the only thing that hasn't changed is teachers' salaries, which remain notoriously low and make the job of staffing the nation's classrooms that much tougher. Elizabeth Kaledin, CBS News, New York.
A mid-air collision over suburban Atlanta today killed 5 people. Wreckage from the private jet and a single-engine Cessna littered yards in a residential area of Marietta. Both pilots and all 3 passengers on the jet were killed. In Robertson County, Tennessee, they're adding up the damage from yesterday's tornado, one of 8 that touched down in that state. The Robertson County twister damaged 30 homes and businesses. Luckily, no one was killed. 5 people in the state were slightly injured.
Misty takes good care of puppies, doesn't she, Mommy?
Yes, she does. And we take good care of Misty. Like when we protect her with Frontline.
Frontline?
See, one spot right here gets rid of fleas and ticks that can make us sick.
Does it hurt?
No, Frontline's really gentle. You know how I know?
'Cause you're a vegetarian.
Veterinarian.
Frontline, the flea and tick protection veterinarians trust most.
Oh, my head. Maybe it's time for Bayer. Bayer relieves your tough headaches, and taken regularly, Bayer can help save your life. Ask your doctor. Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
When are Easter eggs too good to hide?
When they're cookies!
Pillsbury sugar cookies. Just slice, shape, and bake. They're the eggs that are fun to decorate and eat.
Well, they're excellent. Oh, sorry.
Another breakthrough from the 1-hour labs of LensCrafters. New Invisibles anti-reflective lenses from LensCrafters reduce glare, so you can see better while driving at night. New Invisibles, only at LensCrafters. Made in about an hour.
The comfortably priced Comfort Collection. Custom upholstery that's at home, even if your house is a zoo. From Ethan Allen, where everyone's at home. The essential sale ends this weekend.
He is a master at glass blowing, and this Sunday morning, we will show you how artist Dale Chihuly is using his art to change the lives of inner-city kids.
The dismissal of Paula Jones' sexual harassment suit raises questions about the future of such cases. Workplace harassment cases have nearly tripled since 1991. And Thalia Assuras tells us more bosses and workers are paying a premium for legal protection.
Once upon a time, the office was the most likely place to meet someone. Today, it's a romantic battleground where workers need foolproof legal protection when their thoughts turn to love.
I'm enjoying the view.
And companies are going to all lengths, including this kind of training tape, to prevent sexual harassment.
We have to make sure that the policies are clear, concise, and correct.
But Bill Dallas doesn't think that's enough. With the recent boom in complaints, including Paula Jones' suit against President Clinton, Dallas felt compelled to buy sexual harassment insurance for his California mortgage company.
When I started my business, liability was the least of my worries. And as it grows, it becomes one of the greatest worries that you have.
It's a concern that has been heightened by the specter of hefty settlements. As industry watchers point out, insurance is a must.
It costs in the millions of dollars to defend a company, and it's just more prudent for a company to take out a $5,000 annual premium than to pay $5 or $6 million in defense costs.
While companies rely on sexual harassment insurance, there's also protection available for the individual. This is a love contract, a legal document in which co-workers consent to dating each other, and if anything should go wrong in their relationship, they agree to settle their differences out of court.
It is a symbol of how far this issue has pervaded itself into boardrooms, into the structure of management, and into corporations.
Gary Mathiasen, a senior partner in the nation's largest firm devoted exclusively to employment issues, says love contracts are in high demand in the office of the 90s.
This is not how people fall in love and live happily ever after, and this is certainly not what most of us wanted by way of a society, but it is a symbol of our times.
His law firm receives 4 requests for contracts every day, a sad reminder, he says, of how the American workplace has changed for the worse. Thalia, Assuras, CBS News, New York.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Wisconsin's welfare overhaul hits home.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to a potentially serious condition called acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Just 1 Prilosec capsule daily can provide 24-hour acid control. Prilosec is not for everybody. Only your doctor can decide if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. To learn more, call this number, ask your doctor or pharmacist, or see our Life magazine ad. Want 24-hour acid control with just 1 daily capsule? Ask your doctor about Prilosec.
Italians love. So at the Olive Garden, we stuffed our chicken parmigiano with a feast of Italian cheeses. Enjoy it with our special tricolor pasta and all the salad and breadsticks you'd like. Stuffed chicken parmigiano, all just $9.95 at the Olive Garden.
Everybody's got their own smile.
Everybody's got their own style. It's about you being you. And me being me.
It's about mom knowing how
to please everybody in the family.
From ranch to Italian, one family of salad dressings can please everybody in the family. Kraft.
But no matter where you go,
one thing every mom knows.
Everybody's got a taste for Kraft. Everybody's got a taste for Kraft.
I admit it, I don't like to take risks. That's why a Merrill Lynch Protected Growth investment is right for my IRA. In effect, I'm investing in the stock market, but I get the earning potential of a rising market without risking all my principal, even if stocks decline dramatically. My Merrill Lynch financial consultant recommended Protected Growth for my retirement because he knows I like to play it safe. With my money, that is.
Case dismissed with Paula Jones' appeal. How will it affect Kenneth Starr's investigation? Harold Ickes, Senators Hatch and Torricelli face the nation Sunday.
This week, Wisconsin became the first state to end welfare as we know it, replacing the federal program with a workfare system called Wisconsin Works. Today in Milwaukee, scores of people marched to protest the new program called W2. The program is getting many people to work, but as John Roberts reports, some families are falling through the cracks.
Orville Seamer works on behalf of landlords. His workload is up, and he blames welfare reform for an increase in evictions.
It's harder and harder to get rent out of tenants because their benefits have been cut off or reduced, and the rent is always the last thing that gets paid.
That's one reason why the Joy House shelter for women and children is packed with women like Jennifer Cameron.
I wasn't prepared to lose all the benefits at one time, and lack of benefits made me not able to pay my rent, and I was evicted.
Barb Vanderberg used a home video camera to document shelter life this week. She's worked at Joy House for 17 years. Still, she's never seen anything like this.
Women, when they heard about welfare reform, many of their reactions was a reaction of anger. They were just really ticked that somebody would take their money.
Turn the page to the advantages of a budget.
Joy House always offered job and skills training. But Vanderberg says in the past, few women took advantage of these classes. Now, they're afraid not to.
That anger usually is followed up by fear. And what am I going to do? I've never filled out an application. I haven't held the job. How am I going to support these children?
127 women and children slept at Joy House Wednesday night, 130 the night before. W-2 is supposed to mean the end of welfare. Vanderberg agrees the system needed fixing, but worries about the rising numbers at Joy House.
When you have a mom come in that has 11 children and no high school diploma, it's very difficult to punch her in the arm and say, you can do this, this is great, go provide for those children.
Joy House held a ceremony this week. It was for women who completed the training program. Each received a diploma, a Bible, cheers, and a fresh start. John Roberts, CBS News, New York.
And despite the healthy economy, a new study reports a 15% increase in the number of people using charity food banks. The group Second Harvest says reduced food stamp benefits and other welfare reforms are partly responsible. Next up, one-on-one. Remembering Martin Luther King Jr. with author Taylor Branch.
Another breakthrough from the 1 Hour Labs of LensCrafters. New Invisibles anti-reflective lenses from LensCrafters reduce glare, so you can see better while driving at night. New Invisibles, only at LensCrafters, made in about an hour.
You exercise?
Absolutely.
You eat right?
Every day.
With your high cholesterol, aren't you afraid of a first heart attack?
Why do you think I eat right and exercise?
Still, that might not be enough to prevent a first heart attack.
That won't happen to me. Won't happen to me.
But it can, because if you have high cholesterol, you could be at risk of a first heart attack.
Well, what else can I do?
Talk to your doctor about Provocol now. Lots of medications can lower cholesterol, but with Provocol, there's more. Provocol lowers cholesterol and is the only drug of its kind proven to help prevent a first heart attack.
So it can really help control my risk?
Yes, in fact, Provocol can reduce the risk up to 1/3. Provocol, when used together with diet and exercise, has been prescribed for millions. It's not for people with liver problems or women who are pregnant or nursing or may become pregnant. Your doctor may do blood tests to check your liver function, because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Provocol. For information, ask your doctor or call us. Provocol, proven to reduce the risk of a first heart attack up to 1/3.
You can call your family to dinner.
Attention! Dinner is served!
Or let the warmth and aroma of hot, home-baked breads do it for you.
Must be time for dinner.
Pillsbury dinner breads.
Good call! Woohoo!
She was stopped at the border, held incommunicado, strip-searched, examined, and forced to take a powerful laxative.
They can detain you.
Sound like some foreign dictatorship?
They can strip search you.
It happened right here in the USA.
They don't need probable cause, and they don't need your consent.
Eye on America investigates Monday on the CBS Evening News.
This is a day for celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, at least as much as for mourning his death. And in his new book, Pillar of Fire, a leading biographer continues his multi-volume history of King and his times. That's tonight's One-on-One, a talk about the King legacy with author Taylor Branch. What makes him so different from other political leaders and religious leaders? What at the core of his being separates him from other great men and women?
One real clue is in his oratory.
This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed.
He would plant one foot in the Constitution, kind of what makes America special, and one foot in the Scriptures. That gave his rhetoric and his message a sturdiness, that prophetic quality, the unshakable. You can hear it kind of in the furnace of his voice.
The FBI went to great lengths to silence Dr. King. How well aware was he of the fact that the FBI was out to get him?
A lot of the times he was not very aware at all. We have to remember the FBI was the hope of law enforcement in the South in an era when many Americans faced the ultimate Kafkaesque nightmare, which is that when you pick up the phone to call for help because your life's in danger, you have a sneaking feeling that the people you're calling might be the ones that are endangering your life. But he wasn't really aware until he received what's known as the suicide package, in which the FBI literally told him to commit suicide before receiving the Nobel Prize. So great was their animosity.
And that was a pretty serious threat, because on the tapes that they had recorded, it would have indicated there was adultery involved.
It's something really, I think, that rightfully haunts Americans, because it's a political misuse of the most intimate and powerful branches of our government that is a true historical shame.
In the end, though, wasn't that threat what emboldened him to go on?
In many respects, his private failings, which are his business, except for the blackmail, kind of became an engine of his conscience, making him take risks, making himself submit himself to situations where he could and ultimately was assassinated.
Dr. King was criticized for espousing nonviolence. In the end, was he right?
It was a very powerful teaching tool about political change without reinforcing hatreds and enemyship. And in that sense, it was a burden. It's another miracle that the victims of the denial of democratic rights could, through nonviolence, teach America what our own values really meant.
The use of children in the marches was highly criticized by the black religious leadership. In the end, though, was it in fact the children that sparked this long march toward equalizing some of these social injustices?
Absolutely. But the sight of dogs and fire hoses turned on thousands of children as young as 6, 7, 8 years old did melt American resistance and inspire demonstrations all across this country, and it was a magical moment. I know of no precedent in recorded history for the power balance of a great nation turning on the moral witness of elementary school children.
What is his legacy in America in 1998?
Hope, freedom, prophetic witness. The belief that we have sources within ourselves and within our history and within our political and spiritual traditions to confront the worst problem, that this is what America is about and that we can constantly renew it.
Taylor Branch says the conspiracy theories surrounding the King assassination rob his legacy of closure, and he feels the world figure who best carries on King's mission today is Nelson Mandela. On tomorrow's CBS Evening News, why the nation's clergymen are sticking to the pulpit, keeping their advice to themselves. And a little reminder that daylight saving time begins at 2 a.m. tomorrow in most parts of the country. Clocks should be moved ahead, I'll repeat, moved ahead, forward 1 hour. That's the news for tonight. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, spin control in Washington. Then on Face the Nation, the Paula Jones case. I'm Paula Zahn, CBS News in New York. Have a good night and a good rest of the weekend.
Experience CBS News.
Close the net.
On Walker, Texas Ranger, go behind the badge.
Hey, you got the wrong guy.
When a beautiful reporter follows Trevette.
Right now, my badge is my mistress.
I thought that was you.
As he tracks down one of America's most wanted.
Good police work does not always entail heart-pounding excitement. Trevette, we're in pursuit of Eddie Paradise.
On the next.
I thought you were going to jump it. Crossed my mind.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Saturday night at 11:05 on KXII. In just over 1 year, almost 5,000 people participated in a free area health screening, and over 2,000 of them were referred for treatment. These screenings detected a need for medical attention that may otherwise have gone unnoticed. As the TMC health checks come to a close, Texoma Healthcare System and KXII would like to thank everyone who supported our efforts to help keep Texomans happy and healthy. TMC Health Checks and the TMC Healthcare System, they're all about health.
Josh Larson and Jacqueline Ortiz, Texoma's most watched weekend news team. News coverage you can count on.